read. Today is about reading. Now, for a long time, for many years actually, I didn't read. I didn't like reading. I rather wait until if it was a good book. I rather wait until we made a movie out of it and then watch the movie and then it was all over. And don't get me wrong. I enjoy a good movie. It's not that, but I didn't like to read, and that was because I was never used to reading, so I was a very slow reader, and I kept telling myself that you are a slow reader, so don't even bother starting to read, don't even bother start reading a new book. It's gonna take forever for you to finish it anyway, so don't even bother. That's the story I told myself for many years. Then I started listening to Bob Proctor and Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, all these big cannons, if you want. Um, all these I would like to call mentors, but certainly a huge inspiration for me. And it gave me a motivation, to change my own life. And one of the things that especially Jim Rohn talked about was success leaves clues. Study what rich people read and read it, but also find out what poor people read and don't read that. Uh, that's kind of a good point. Um, so I started to listening to these big guns, and I found out what they were reading, and also that they made books of themselves. So of course I had to read some of those, but it gave me a from the day I started in all to in all this changing myself. It all started with Bob Proctor actually, and it enlightened me in a way I never thought would happen. So it gives me an inspiration to at least look into that reading part again. Well, it was not until Tony and Dean really got into them that I found out that I had to make a change to start reading again. After all, it wouldn't hurt to try, and I already changed my mindset at that point. So I didn't just tell myself that you're a slow reader, you don't even bother start reading, you will never finish a book, all that kind of stuff. I didn't tell myself that, for my own surprise actually, because that's what I've been keep telling myself all these years. But when I started to change my mindset, that changed too, the way I spoke to myself, felt about myself, thought about myself. That changed. And once that changed, everything changed. So I didn't tell myself that I couldn't read anymore. Now I was telling myself, find a good book and read it. But not just any book. It had to be it had to be a book that was recommended by successful people. So I started to, I put up my mind that I wanted to, I wanted to start reading, and I got a book from Dean Graziosi, and I started to read that. Now he reads writes in a different way, but I like that way. I like it a lot actually, and I was very caught by that book. I was very interested in that book. So once I started to read with my new mindset, that I was good enough to read, because I told myself that it was a success if I just read for 10 minutes a day. An idea I got from Jim Rohn, uh, that said something along the lines that many people say they don't have time to read. You always have 10 minutes a day. If nothing else, skip a meal and read for 10 minutes. But read for 10 minutes a day. And he's absolutely right about that. You can always find 10 minutes. If nothing else, 10 minutes in the morning when you wake up, or in the evening before you go to bed. Find 10 minutes and read. Now I put that in my head. And that has stuck ever since. So I read at least, I put my mind to it that I have to read 10 minutes. Most of the time it's always more, but it's a success for me if I read for 10 minutes. But not only that, if I have to, or not if I have to, but when I read something, I never read novels, crime stories, all that kind of romances, all that kind of stuff. I never read that. I want to read something that actually makes me smarter, something I learn something from, something that can educate me. Now that's what I want to read. So I tell myself to read at least 10 minutes a day. And as I said right before, most of the days it's more. But it's okay. And I actually managed to, I think, read faster. The more you do it, the better you get at it. The more you exercise, the better the muscles. That goes for everything. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Also reading. The more you do of one thing, the better you get at it. But you've got to do it consistently, otherwise, no. But I got better. I got faster. So, practice and read. You'll not be sorry. I never wait for a big book to be published as a movie anymore. Now I'm hungry to learn more all the time. I want to learn something new each and every day, and I do, especially from reading. So it's important to read. Always have a book ready when you're done with the other one, the current one you're reading. Always have a book ready so you can continue. Don't stop, just read. So, but it was an eye opening for me that you're not limited of your past. It's your mind telling you you are. So don't Don't trust that. You can do it because I can.